Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm talking to you about how you can save some money on your weekly food groceries. Hi, I'm Amanda and I make mummy and lifestyle videos here on YouTube. This week I want to talk to you about how I get my grocery shop for about 50 quid a week to feed our family of 4. I love watching all those grocery hauls over on YouTube as well, and a lot of them are often 120, 130 pounds a week, which for me just seems an awful lot of money to be spending on your weekly food. So I try and keep it a lot lower than that, and I've got a few tips and tricks to help make that a bit easier so you can do the same thing every single week and know that you're not going to get any surprises when you get to the checkout with a huge bill. I like to do it where I don't have to shop around loads, I don't have to use vouchers, I just follow these simple strategies every week and I know that I'm not going to be spending a fortune on my grocery bill, and it means I'm going to end up with more money in my pocket to spend on the fun stuff and the things I really want to do. The first thing I'd suggest you do is something that's been dubbed shelf cooking, and that is where before you even start to try and write a shopping list, you go into your cupboards, you go into your fridge, you go into your freezer and all your cupboards, and you go through and you see if you can find at least one meal that you've already got in there to use for the following week. It might be that you've got a packet of something and you think I only need a few extra ingredients for this, or it might be you've got some chicken in the fridge that you think I'm going to use that for a certain meal, or maybe in the freezer you've got a frozen meal or some frozen vegetables that you're going to use up. So picking some things that you've already got and making at least one meal out of those for the following week. And carrying on from this, also to be looking in your fridge and freezer and checking if there's anything that's going to expire in the next few days that you need to eat up before you go food shopping, or that you need to get a few ingredients for so that you can use that ingredient before it goes bad or goes off and you can get it used rather than having to bin it. So check in the expiry dates of anything you've already got. We then also sit down as a family, generally just me and Stu, but the girls sometimes help as well, to plan the meals for the following week. And we are definitely the kind of people that like to plan our meals out, so we'll sit down and write a list of what we're going to have on every day. For us, this just works. I know some people find that really restrictive, but I really like to know that what I'm going to be cooking every day, so I don't have to think about it on a daily basis, because that just drives me crazy. So we'll sit down and we try and plan something that has chicken with it, something that has rice with it, something that has pasta with it. So we have the same similar kinds of meals every week, but they can be changed up. We will sit and write down what we need for each of those meals, and we'll also allocate them to a certain day. That works for us because, for example, my husband often will go and play football on a Wednesday, and so we'll have a different type of meal then. We like to have a really nice meal like pizzas or burgers on a Friday night for the end of the working week. So we know that those things are going to be put into those places. The other things can move around a bit, and you may find you want to just buy your 7 meals for the week or your 6 meals for the week and then move them around as and when you feel like it as your timetable changes over the week. One way we definitely save money is to avoid any pre-prepared meals or pre-prepared ingredients. We very, very rarely buy like a ready meal. The only exception to that is if we're going on holiday, like a self-catered holiday, that's when we'll treat ourselves to like some of the posh ready meals. But on a week-to-week basis, we just don't use those. They're more expensive, they're full of salt, and I like to know what I'm putting into my meals. So we just avoid those altogether. Things like pre-prepared veg, they seem like they're going to save you some time, but actually things like carrot batons, yeah, they're great to like just chuck in kids' packed lunches and things, but they taste horrible. They're dry, they're flavourless. You know, chopping up a carrot takes a matter of seconds. Just grab yourself a bag of carrots and you can use it for carrot sticks for the week to keep as a healthy snack, and also chucking it into any meals that you've got that you can add vegetables to. So just remember that those things seem to save you time, but actually you're getting a worse off deal for them. Things like pre-prepared mash, we steer right away from things like that. Mashed potatoes, people seem to think take a long time. One little hack I've got for mashed potatoes is I like to chop up a potato. I leave the skin on, so no peeling involved at all. I chop them into little cubes, chuck them in a pan of boiling water for about 15 minutes, mash them with a dollop of butter, and they're really yummy. I think you don't even notice the skin still on them anymore, and it gives them a lovely nice flavour. So that can mean you've got mashed potato on the table in 15 minutes, which most of the time the main part of your meal will take longer than 15 minutes anyway, so it's not wasting you any time at all. We also are fans of frozen veg in this house. We like to have a real mixture of fresh and frozen vegetables, but we always have a mix of a mixed veg in the freezer, and we always have peas and sweet corn frozen in the freezer as well, so that we can chuck those into any meals and we can have them as sides for any meals that we want. And it means that we haven't got to always rely on having the fresh stuff in the fridge. Lots of research has been done to show that frozen veg is still full of loads of nutrients, still really good for you, and you're not sacrificing eating healthily by eating frozen. So grab yourself some frozen veg and make sure you've always got that in the freezer. Personally, I wasn't really raised to have much brand loyalty. I know lots of people have a certain type of beans or a certain type of tomato sauce and they like to have that brand all the time, and I completely get that. As I've not got any brand loyalties, it's easy for me to say just ditch the brands, because I don't really care which brand I have for anything really. But if you are really brand loyal and you really like a certain type of sauce or beans or whatever it is, crisps, one thing I would just say is just give a couple of other brands a shot. Test yourself, put yourself out your comfort zone. Over the next few weeks, if it's beans for example, try 3 different types of beans that are cheaper than the tin you would normally buy. And if after those 3 you think, no, I still really like my branded beans, then fine, that's something you just have to budget into your grocery list. But you may find that one of those 3 is just as good or even better, and then that's the kind of thing that will save you money over the long haul, because beans are things you buy in bulk, you buy loads of them over the course of the year, and over the year you'll save loads of money if you can change to save a few pennies on those tins every week. Another thing we do to save money is we batch cook. So every week we will choose at least one meal that we are going to make in double and freeze half of. So you can do this with lots of different things. So we quite like to do it with a big pasta sauce. So we put like passata and onions and garlic and peppers and carrots and whatever vegetables we've got lying around. We chuck that all in, make a really big batch of a pasta sauce, then we use half it for that meal that night, and then we freeze the other half in Tupperware, put it in the freezer so that we've got that frozen for another meal that can just be pulled out the freezer without any fuss and just reheated, ready to go, so you've got a meal on the table in 10 minutes. So I really love to have that. Another one I do is a fish pie, where it's a Jamie Oliver one where you just chuck all the stuff in a pan and with mashed potato on the top, chuck it in the oven, and it's a nice quick fish pie. But again, we make double of that. I freeze half it, and that reheats really, really well, and it's a lovely homely home cooked meal that I know I can just whip out the freezer and it's just done without having to make that every single week. We like to make a Mexican chicken sauce that we freeze, macaroni cheese we often will freeze. Just try and find at least one meal a week that you can make double of and freeze. Not only will it save you time the following week or whenever you decide to reuse that meal, but it will also save you money, because you just know when you are buying things like vegetables and all the ingredients for a big batch of things, it's going to be cheaper than if you had to buy those ingredients twice for 2 separate meals. I honestly believe the final thing that helps me to save money on our grocery shopping is to shop in Aldi. I know that people have a bit of a love-hate relationship with Aldi. Personally, I'm definitely on the pro Aldi, the go Aldi team. I've shopped at Aldi now for years and years and years, and I just at the moment can't see it as ever shopping anywhere else. The huge supermarket superstores are so tempting with things like clothes and CDs and electronics and books and all that sort of stuff that I just don't need that distraction on my weekly shop to be chucking a load of stuff in. Aldi definitely does have some distractions. It's Aldi Special Buys, and I do love the Aldi Special Buy magazine that comes out every week, but I honestly think that the things that they offer in those special buys are really good value for money. And so if I do see something that I want or need, I feel like I'm actually getting a really good deal from it as well. And if you really can't, you can just that middle aisle, you just need to sort of put your blinkers on and walk fast down and then get out the other end, and it's only one aisle to avoid, whereas some of the giant supermarkets, it's half the store you've got to avoid if you want to avoid the distraction of spending extra money on your grocery bill. I hope this has been useful and you've got some tips to help save you some money on your food shopping every week. If you've got any more, please add them to the comments down below. And if you've enjoyed this video, I'd love you to stick around and subscribe for more videos like this coming your way soon. Catch you next time. Bye!